Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is your boy Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, aka Casper the Friendly Ghost. And in today's video, I'm going to be making a mock draft for fantasy football. This is a 12-team PPR league. I have set it to half PPR on Fantasy Pros because I believe that the rankings, when you put it at PPR, they skew way too far towards the wide receiver position. I personally don't think that's how a lot of people draft, so I would put it at half PPR, but it's really a PPR draft for my reasoning that I just explained. Now, this is a 12-team draft from the third slot. If you guys have any requests, any type of league, I'm going to do an 8, 10, 12, 14-team league from any position, any type of roster format, let me know down below in the comment section. But before we get into it, let me just tell you guys the roster positions. We got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wideouts, a tight end flex, kicker defense, and 6 bench spots. A very typical roster construction for a fantasy football league. So let's get right in the video. 12-team PPR from the third overall spot. Let's get right into it. So obviously this video at points may look a bit darker, but it is whatever. We are going to get right into it. They have changed how the draft wizard looks. So this is a brand new look for me. Now, this is our first pick of the draft. The first 3 picks have already occurred, or the first 2 picks, I should say, have already occurred. So the first pick of the draft was Christian McCaffrey, followed by Saquon Barkley. So now it is our selection at the 103. And to me, this is a very easy selection. So pretty much every single player is still on the board. To me, this is very obvious who I would personally pick here. In fantasy football, in these type of leagues, you're in a 12-team league here. You don't need to draft a quarterback early. You don't need to draft a tight end early. It's the third overall selection. And to me, this is obvious to me, and that is Ezekiel Elliott, running back of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, in the past couple of seasons, Ezekiel Elliott has been dominant, but he actually recently added something new to his game. As you can see, 2016, his rookie season, 32 receptions. His sophomore season, 26 receptions. But his junior year and senior year, not really junior and senior, but his third and fourth season in the NFL, he ramped it up. 77 receptions in 2018 and 54 in 2019. Played all 16 games in 2019. 301 carries, over 1,300 yards, 54 receptions, 420 receiving yards, and a total of 14 touchdowns. This Cowboys team loves to run the ball, and I would be very, very, very surprised if Ezekiel Elliott did not finish inside of the top 3 running backs in 2020, and that is what I'm going to be attacking here, a running back early start. And now we have selected Ezekiel Elliott, and that's going to run through this, but I'm going to show you guys exactly who got picked after this. Personally, I do not think that this new draft wizard, the new look, is very aesthetically pleasing to me, but Fantasy Pros, you want to pay your boy, and you want to give me that bag, I'll hop on. I'll tell you how great this looks. Sleeper, you want your boy? I'll hook you up the same way. So after we went with Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas was selected, followed by Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Julio Jones, Travis Kelce, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Chris Godwin, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, Lamar Jackson, and Amari Cooper. So the first tight end went in the draft at the 201, followed by the first quarterback at the 208. Like I said, guys, you do not want to be drafting quarterbacks early in fantasy football. I just would not do it. I don't believe that the advantage is there. I'd much rather wait till later in the draft to select my quarterback. Same things go for the tight end. Unless there's value. You may be playing with a guy in your league who thinks just like you. Maybe you're playing with 11 guys who think just like you that say fuck the quarterback position. And then the 4th round, if Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes is there, that's when I would make the selection. But in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, I'm staying clear away from the quarterback position. Same thing to do with the tight end position. Unless you're in an 8-team league, then I actually have something to talk about the tight end position, but that's not in this video. So right now it is our selection. Right now at the running back position, it is looking a bit spry, but we're going to make this pick and then we make another pick shortly after. So I think I'm going to target the wide receiver position here and get a guy that I really, really like for the 2020 season. And these 2 guys, there's a couple of guys still available here. Obviously, we got Kenny Golladay, DJ Moore, Odell Beckham Jr., Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, all guys that are still available for me to draft. But to me, by far and away, I like Kenny Golladay the most. Now, Kenny Golladay might not have the greatest stats out of any wide receiver in the NFL, but he does have one thing. He has potential to be good with whatever quarterback is playing for the team. When Stafford's in there, he's amazing. When some other scrub like Blau is in there, he's amazing. So it does does not matter to me. He's not one of these wide receivers that's going to be very reliant on who the quarterback is in 2020. I think it will be Stafford. I think Stafford should be able to stay healthy. Now, in 2019, he played all 16 games, 65 receptions on 116 targets. So 2 seasons in a row with over 100 targets, over 1,000 yards. Yet again, 1,190 yards with 11 total touchdowns. You heard that correct. 11 fucking touchdowns. I think that DJ Moore is also great. I do not like Odell Beckham, but to me, Kenny Golladay is the certified locked-in pick here. And then after we selected Kenny Golladay, as you can see, Josh Jacobs came off the board, followed by, let's see. Go back to the board. We picked Kenny Golladay, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, Todd Gurley, Chris Carson. So it is our pick yet again. And as we can see here, if we look at the cheat sheet here, the quarterbacks, a lot of them are still here. There's 2 tight ends gone. So we're going to target the running back position. I do not really want to go out of the 3rd round. And without having a running back, 2 running backs to me that I really like. Now, if you're in a 3 wide receiver league, I would hammer the wide receivers faster, but this is not a 3 wide receiver league. This is not a league where there's like 2 flexes, so you could be starting 4 wide receivers. No, this is a 1 flex league and a 2 wide receiver league, so I would definitely target a running back here. Now, guys still available: Miles Sanders, Melvin Gordon, Kenyon Drake, Mark Ingram, Le'Veon Bell, Devin Singletary. Now, to me, I like a couple of these guys. Miles Sanders, I actually do kind of like. I am a bit worried about the guy, though. What worries me is that the Philadelphia Eagles are typically known for doing one thing, and that is running back by committee, and that does not bode well for the number 1 back, because there's going to be other guys around him getting carries. Now, a lot of those guys got hurt. Guys like J.J., guys that were all around Miles Sanders ended up going down. It was just the Miles Sanders show when he was the sole back on the team, besides like Boston Scott and guys like that. He was dominant, but that does worry me. A guy like Melvin Gordon, what team is he going to be on in 2020? Will he be on the L.A. Superchargers, or will he be on a completely different team? Who really knows? And then the thing with Kenyon Drake is, what team is Kenyon Drake going to be on? Personally, I believe Kenyon Drake will be an Arizona Cardinal in 2020. I believe they ship David Johnson the fuck out of there, and I think that is the Kenyon Drake show, and that is who I'm going to be selecting here. I think if Kenyon Drake is the sole back, obviously there's going to be guys like Chase Edmonds and other guys there, but if he is the lead back on the Arizona Cardinals, I believe he has the talent to skull fuck defenses all season long. In 2019, he played 14 games. Only a couple of those were with the Cardinals. 817 yards on 170 carries, which is almost 1,000 yards on under 200 carries. Pretty good if he got like 200, 250 carries. No reason why he won't skyrocket past 1,000 rush yards. He had 50 receptions, 345 yards, and 8 total touchdowns. This man was an absolute unit. He was fucking down defenses later in the season. I think that if he is the lead back for the Arizona Cardinals, this will be an amazing selection here. I would also like to give an honorable mention to another guy that I actually was looking at here, and that is at the wide receiver position. I typically like to get 2 running backs in my first 3 picks. That is where I find the most success in fantasy football. Now, this year is not going to be like last year. Everyone fucking knows that, but the wide receiver that I would be looking at here, if I was to select one, is DJ Moore. Now, the Carolina Panthers have been just an okay team, but DJ Moore, just like Kenny Golladay, the guy we selected earlier, showed that it doesn't matter who the quarterback is on his team. He doesn't give a fuck which scrub is rolling out there. Now, I think it is going to be Cam Newton. I think they're going to buy in on Cam Newton, potentially keep him this season. But DJ Moore was a beast with Cam. He's a beast with Kyle Allen. He's a beast with Will Grier. He's a beast with some grandmother off the fucking street. I believe that he is a great pick here as well, but I'm going to lean the way of Kenyon Drake because it's going to be very hard to find running backs later in the draft. It is very easy to find a serviceable wide receiver 2 or flex option off just the waiver wire, and later in the draft. So we're going to select Kenyon Drake here. So then the draft wizard is going to do its thing. If you guys have enjoyed the video thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. It is free. It's going to cost you nothing, and you're going to have a hell of a fucking time on this channel. So after we went with Kenyon Drake, Miles Sanders came off the board, followed by Odell Beckham Jr., DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Allen Robinson, Austin Hoop God Hooper, Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, Cortland Sutton, James Glassman Connor, Juju Smith-Schuster, Zach Ertz, Devontae Parker, Mark Ingram, Keenan Allen, Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Green, and Devin Singletary. Now, there are a couple of guys I want to talk about here. Personally, I would not touch Odell Beckham ahead of DJ Moore. I'm not going to be touching Odell Beckham at all in a majority of my draft. Now, I know guys like Nick Ercolano, they tell you, oh, make sure to diversify the revenue, diversify the guys you want to draft. And sure, you may want to get one share of Odell Beckham if you're playing in like 10 leagues, but if you're in 1 league, you're in 2 leagues, you're in 3 leagues, I would not touch Odell Beckham with a 30-foot fucking pull. That guy is a diva. That guy is he's a good wide receiver. I just do not believe in the Browns enough to draft a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. So as of currently right now, I believe we can probably see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight ends already off the board and only one quarterback. So if Pat Mahomes falls to us in the 5th round, he would be this guy I would likely be selecting there. A guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, a top 2 round selection in 2019, falls all the way from grace from the 1st or 2nd round all the way down to the 4th round. Juju Smith-Schuster with a healthy Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to be nasty this season. I hope you know that, and I hope that people do not. Actually, I hope people take off on Juju Smith-Schuster. They do not believe in him because I personally believe he will have a bounce bike season. AJ Green drafted at the 408. I do not know what type of crack the weed that no punt intended was smoking. Obviously, we're playing up against the CPU, so it's not someone necessarily making this pick, but AJ Green, what the fuck are you doing in the 4th round? This motherfucker gets injured lacing up his cleats. He goes for a shower in the morning. The shower head falls off, cracks him in the skull, murders him. Jonathan Taylor at the 407, the first rookie selected in this draft. Now, Jonathan Taylor's landing spot will definitely depend where he goes in this draft. If he goes to a team that I believe he could be the workhorse back, then Jonathan Taylor deserves his way into the 4th round, maybe even the 3rd round, where guys like Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery were getting drafted last season. I think that Jonathan Taylor has the potential to be a beast in the NFL, so I don't necessarily hate that pick at the 407. So now it is our selection here at, I believe, what pick are we at right now? We are at the 410, so we make a pick, and then a couple picks later, it is our turn. So our roster so far, we have Ezekiel Elliott, Kenny Golladay, and Kenyon Drake. So we're going to be looking at the best guys available here. Right now at the running back position, it is dying down quick, and I think that is something that's going to be happening in every type of draft. If you're in a standard league, a half PPR league, a full PPR league, the running backs fly off the fucking board. So I'm going to go ahead here and go for a wide receiver here because I'm thinking I'm going to go running back in the next round. There are a lot of wide receivers here that I do really personally like. Guys like A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley, all still available here this late in the draft at the end of the 4th round in a 12-team league. Now, to me, this is very glaring. If you want to go with a safe pick, to me, you can go with a guy like Stephon Diggs, a guy like Tyler Lockett, that to me are much safer, but I'm a bit more risky, and I'm going to lean the way of A.J. Brown. This man had a dominant rookie season in the NFL at the helm of Ryan Tannehill. When Mariota was in, he was not getting his chance. Now, it says he played 16 games in his rookie season, but yeah, sure, he played 16 games, but he wasn't getting all that many snaps early in the season. But then, once Tannehill took over, they said, fuck you, Corey Davis. It is the A.J. Brown show. And A.J. Brown went out and balled out of control. 16 games, 52 receptions, 84 targets, over 1,000 yards, and 9 total touchdowns in the playoffs. He was a key member of this Tennessee Titans team, and I think he's going to be a key member for years down the line. Before 2020 in a redraft league, I really do like A.J. Green here not A.J. Green, A.J. Brown with Ryan Tannehill, and that is who we're going to be selecting here. After A.J. Brown came out the board, Patty Mahomes came out the board, followed by, as we can see here, Pat Mahomes. Calvin Ridley was selected as well. So let's see who else went. Pat Mahomes, Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs, and Cooper Kupp. So now it is our selection yet again. Do we want to go running back? Do we want to go wide receiver? Now, to me, I think I'd personally probably go running backs based on the running backs that are still available. It would have been Pat Mahomes given he was not selected there. So if we keep scrolling up here, guys at the running back position still available. Kerryon Johnson, Marlon Mac, Phillip Lindsay, David Montgomery. If we look down here at the wide receiver position, there are still a bunch of talented guys. And to be honest with you, I think that in the 6th round, there will still be some talented wide receivers that I like to be potential flexes. So I'm going to go here and select a running back for my squad. And to me, this is a very obvious selection. Right now on the board, we got guys like Marlon Mack, Kerryon Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, Damian Williams, Darius Geist. To me, this is a very obvious pick, and that is Marlon Mack. Now, Marlon Mack was a very highly touted running back in 2019, a guy that a lot of people in the fantasy community, including myself, thought would be a beast. Now, he had a pretty good season. He only played in 14 games. He's not played 16 games total in any seasons. He has been in the league since 2017. In 3 years, he's played 14 games, 12 games, and 14 games. In last season, in 14 games, he got 247 touches for 1,091 yards, 14 receptions, 82 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. Sure, this is a PPR league. He is not going to be getting an ass load of receptions, but to me, that does not personally matter. I think that even with 14 receptions, maybe even go up to 25, 30. That's just 30 free points, but They have other running backs there that are the pass catchers. I think that Marlon Mac will have a much better and much more productive season this season. That offensive line is very good. I think that with a guy, maybe it's Jacoby Brissett. If it's not Jacoby Brissett, I like Marlon Mac even more. So I'm going to be leaning Marlon Mac here with this selection. If I was to have went wide receiver, let's scroll down and see who I probably would have went. If we were leaning wide receiver, I probably would have went with my boy Bobby Woods here at that pick. But we're going to go ahead and select Marlon Mac here over a guy like Kerryon Johnson, who to me, I really love. I think the talent is there, but Detroit kind of worries me. They are a run-heavy team, but they like to split the workload amongst a bunch of guys. And for obvious reason, the motherfucker is just injury prone. So we're going to go with Marlon Mac here. So the draft wizard is going to do its thing. Like I said, I'm not really going to start speed naming these guys off because it goes too fast. I don't know why it goes this fast. It's fucking dumb, but it's whatever. They need to fix that. So after we went with Marlon Mac, Tyler Lockett came up the board, followed by Kerryon Johnson, Robert Woods, Julian Edelman, Deshaun Watson, Kareem Hunt, DK Metcalf, Jarvis Landry, T.Y. Hilton, Phillip Lindsay, Darren Waller, D.J. Chark, famous Jameis Winston, Damian Williams, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Adam Thielen, Kyler Murray. Which motherfucker had the cojones to draft Jameis Winston over a guy like Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray? Now, I love Jameis Winston, but I don't know if I would personally pull the trigger there. I think I'd wait later in the draft, typically to like the 8th, 9th round to select a quarterback. But right now, a lot of quarterbacks have actually flown off the board. As you can see here, if you just do by roster, it's much easier to see on Fantasy Pros who has a quarterback and who doesn't. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total teams out of the 12 have a quarterback. So we can continue to wait for that position right now. We can see how many tight ends have came off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total tight ends have came off the board so far. So if we're looking at the quarterback position, my favorite guy, Josh Allen, is still available. I typically wait till the next round to maybe throw it to get him. Now, there are some guys that are available at the tight end position that I like, but I typically prefer to punt the tight end position. I want to be going ahead and attacking the wide receiver position here. Now, the wide receivers that are still available, we got guys like Scary Terry McLaurin, John Brown, Michael Gallup, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Boyd, all guys that I really like here. Now, Terry McLaurin, to me, is still going to be dealing with the fact that the Redskins are kind of bad. Now, sure, he showed that last season that it did not fucking matter in his rookie campaign. He said, fuck it, Dwayne Hash can's the trash can. The fact that the line's terrible, the other wide receivers are terrible, he does not give a fuck. He balled out of control. Michael Gallup had a great season last season. John Brown as well, Deebo Samuel. But I think I'm actually going to feel a bit dangerous here and go with my boy, Tyler Boyd here. Now, Tyler Boyd last season played 16 games, 90 receptions, 148 targets, over 1,000 yards, and 5 total touchdowns. Now, I know you might be thinking in the comments, oh, Nick, AJ Green's probably going to come back and play for the Cincinnati Bengals. Nick, does that not worry you about Tyler Boyd? Tyler Boyd might not play as good when AJ Green's on the field. No, look, if AJ Green's on the field, if whoever the fuck's on the field, it does not matter. Tyler Boyd, even as the number 2 wide receiver on the team, will be able to ball out of control. He's a very, very big target for this team. I think Big Dick Joe Burrow becomes the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, and Tyler Boyd balls out of control yet again for another season of over 1,000 yards. So we are going to be selecting Tyler Boyd at this pick. So after we selected Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup came off the board as well. As we can see, we got to scroll back here. That's why this shit sucks. Michael Gallup, John Brown, Joshy Allen, Deebo Samuel. So it's our pick. Our quarterback that I wanted to select here has been gone. He got fucking yeeted straight off of our roster. The guy I wanted in Joshua Allen. If we can scroll up here, maybe we can find the quarterbacks. Guys like Drew Brees still available. Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford. So I'm just going to continue to punt that position. The tight end position, that guys that are still available at the tight end position are guys like, I'm sorry, I'm new to this, not the website, but this new format, and I don't even know why I allowed the fact to use this shit, because I don't like the new format. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Jared Cook, Tyler Higbee. I'm just going to wait, and if you guys wanted to see me talk about tight ends, you can check out the video that is going to be coming out on Friday on my channel, where I actually talk about and go a bit more in-depth on my tight end rankings for 2020. So, at the running back position, a guy that I still kind of have like is still available, and that's David Montgomery. Now, I know people in the comments, you're going to be pissed off, Nick. David Montgomery sucks, Nick. David Montgomery sucks is what you might be thinking. And to me, that may be true. That may be true, but we're in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in the 7th round. I'm going to take my guess on David Montgomery hitting. If David Montgomery hits, then this could be an amazing pick in the 7th round. Now, in 2019, David Montgomery played in every single game, 214 attempts, 889 rushing yards, 3.7 per carry, not so hot, 25 receptions for 185 yards, and 7 total touchdowns. Now, David Montgomery was not ultra consistent last season. He kind of was a disappointment, if I'm being honest with you, but I think this season at the later round pick could be a potential guy that blows up and skull fucks some defenses for your fantasy football team. David Montgomery is a good talent. Will the line block for him? Will Mitch Trubisky still be the quarterback? What is Nagy going to do? You would hope Nagy realizes and watches back the tape and hands David Montgomery the ball more times than that. He just has to. I think David Montgomery has a better year in 2020. So after we selected David Montgomery, a bunch of picks are going to come off the board, including some rookies actually I saw came off the board that are going to be notable to speak about here. Now, typically I don't draft any rookies in these drafts when we're talking about the 2020 season before the NFL draft, before the ADP is truly set for where these guys are going to go. Because if I select a guy like or I'll just talk about it here. So after I selected David Montgomery, Terry McLaurin went off the board, followed by Raheem Mostert, and then J.K. Dobbins, the rookie. Where does J.K. Dobbins go? If he goes to a team where they're going to run the ball, and he's going to be the lead back on that team, I think J.K. Dobbins could be fucking nasty. J.K. Dobbins is a great talent, but will that be the situation for him? Who really knows? I think that J.K. Dobbins is a good talent, so taking him in the 7th round could certainly pay off big time in 2020 if he gets the touches later on in the season or even at the beginning. But if we realize that he is going to be a starter for a team, I think he skyrockets up the draft board along with a couple of these other guys. So after J.K. Dobbins came off the board, Devontae Freeman came off the board, followed by Darius Geist, James White, Aaron Rodgers, Matty Ice in the veins. Matthew Snapback, Sony Michel, Will Fuller, Christian Kirk, Ronaldo Jones, Marquise Hollywood Brown, David Johnson, rookie, DeAndre Swift, Alshon Jeffrey, and Mike Evans. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs and 3 wide receivers, a very balanced roster. You typically want to finish the draft with more running backs than wide receivers because it's much easier to find a running back off the waiver wire that you can play, or a wide receiver off the waiver wire, that you can play and throw into your roster than a running back. So that's typically why I do that. Even in a deeper wide receiver league, I still typically target the running backs here. We are deep in the rounds right now. What round are we currently in? We're in the 8th round. So right here, I'm going to pull the trigger. And actually, this is actually a good tip here. So we're going to go to the buy roster, and we're going to see what the other teams around us need. So everyone around us has a quarterback. So we can avoid drafting quarterback here. Pray to the fantasy lords that carry on my wayward son. The first team here does not select the quarterback. Now, we're in the 8th round. In a real league, in your real at-home league, some motherfuckers are going to be bound to take a backup quarterback before you even select your first quarterback in 2020. So you got to know that. But right here, we're drafting against the computer, so I'm going to take advantage of that, draft a real player, and then draft a quarterback, next quarterback. So obviously real players, but a running back or a wide receiver here. The running back core right now, Carlos Hyde, Tariq Cohen, Royce Freeman, Latavius Murray, do not call out to me at all. So we're going to be attacking the wide receiver position here. We got guys like Sterling Shepard, Robbie Anderson, Marvin Jones, Anthony Miller, Emmanuel Sanders, Darius Slayton, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Preston Williams. So right here, there are some big names here. Marvin Jones is a guy that is very talented, but we already have Kenny Galladay. So do I really want to draft 2 Detroit wide receivers? Probably fucking not. Sterling Shepard is a guy that does have the talent in the NFL. He's been a solid wide receiver the last couple of years, ever since he got into the league in 2016. But he's a guy that has been on and off the field. 16 games, 11 games, 16 games, then 10 games. 57 receptions on 83 targets in 2019. 83 targets, like I said, 500 yards and 3 total touchdowns. So he's not a guy that is a stud. And to me, I would just kind of stay away from him. They have a lot of wide receivers on that roster. Daniel Jones spreads the ball out a decent amount, so I would not be too sure to buy in on just one guy on that team. So I'm going to go ahead and avoid that. Robbie Anderson, will he be a New York Football Jet in 2020? Maybe, maybe not. So I'm going to go down here and actually select a guy that I really like, and that his name is Preston Williams. Now, this may be a bit of an early pick, but I'm going to go ahead and reach and get the guy that I truly want in 2020. And that's Preston Williams. Now, Preston Williams has had injury problems in the past. I believe he has torn both of his ACLs, or the same ACL twice, which which really ain't that good if I'm being honest with you guys, but it'll be okay. 8 games, 32 targets, or 32 receptions out of 60 targets, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. I know that's not amazing, but at the end of the day, if he plays 16 games, if he's playing with the same quarterback in Ryan Fitzmagic that he played with last year, I see no reason why Preston Williams can't be another guy that is a diamond in the rough in your fantasy football draft. So after we selected Preston Williams, Jerry Jeudy, the first rookie wide receiver, comes off the board, followed by Carlos Hyde, Sterling Shepard, and C.D. Lamb. So we are seeing 2 rookie wide receivers coming off the board early in the draft, or typically late in the draft. Typically, you're going to see rookie running backs actually go far ahead of the rookie wide receivers because last year the rookie wide receiver class, the rookie wide receiver class was outstanding. DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Preston Williams, Terry McLaurin, just to name a few. A.J. Brown, all beasts in 2020 or 2019, but will it be the same this year in 2020? Who really knows? So I typically like to target wide receivers that I know are going to be good, but you can go ahead and take a shot on a guy like C.D. Lamb late here in the 9th round. But now we're going to go ahead and get our quarterback, and to me, that is Drew Brees. Now, I know Drew Brees did not successfully finish his season in 2011. This motherfucker is old as hell. He's been playing for years, but he's a baller when he's on the field. A 116.3 quarterback rating last season, 74% completion ratio, over 2,979 pass yards, and he had a nasty amount of touchdowns. Passing touchdowns, 27. He only threw 3,000 yards. If he played in all 16 games, he would have been a beast in 2019, so I'm going to select him here. Hope he plays all 16 games. Him and the squad in New Orleans is going to be nasty. If New Orleans goes out there and selects another wide receiver to be on the other side of Michael Thomas, this Saints team is going to be scary, and Drew Brees is going to be scary. I love Drew Brees late in drafts in 2020. So after we went and selected Drew Brees off the board, the computer is going to go ahead and pop off at the party. It is with the gang into the 10th round of the draft. If you guys have enjoyed the video thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below because I would love you. I would really appreciate it. I'll even give you a kiss and tuck you in at night. So after we selected Drew Brees, Robbie Anderson came at the board, followed by Brandon Cooks, Anthony Miller, Tariq Cohen, Darius Slayton, Duke Johnson, Marvin Jones, Curtis Samuel, Jordan Howard, Jamal Williams, Zach Moss, another rookie running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, another rookie running back, Justin Jackson, John Ross, the Sauce Boss, Emmanuel Sanders, Royce Freeman, Jameson Crowder, and Alexander Madison. So here we are going to actually look at the draft so far by roster. Let's see how many teams have a tight end. So currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams have a tight end. So right here in, I believe, what round are we in now? Oh, shit, I just clicked off of it. I'm sorry, guys. This is a bit new for me. We're in the 10th round, so there's some good tight ends to be taken here, and that's where I'm going to personally select my first tight end, and the only tight end I take, because like I said, you don't need a backup quarterback or a backup tight end in a 12-team league. You can easily find one off the waiver wire. Guys like Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Jared Cook, Tyler Higbee, all still available here. To me, the best tight end still available is Evan Ingram. Health is a huge concern with Evan Ingram. If this man can stay healthy, he'll be worth a 10th round pick. Last year, he was going much higher in drafts, around the 6th, 7th, 8th round. Now he's fallen all the way to the 10th round, so I see no reason to select him here and just hope he can stay healthy. Or when he's out there to ball out and then you just cut his ass after he gets hurt. Fuck you, Evan Ingram. We're picking you here. I think that he has a solid opportunity to play well in New York this season. So after we selected Evan Ingram off the board, Henry Ruggs came off the board, another rookie wide receiver, followed by Latavius Murray, Deontay Johnson, and T. Higgins, another rookie wide receiver. So now it's our pick yet again, and I think we're going to start hammering some more late round running backs. Some guys that to me are going to be our ticket to winning the fantasy football championship. So we're going to fuck around here and draft Cameron Akers out of Florida State University, the Seminoles. Cameron Akers is one of those motherfuckers who, if you watch any Dynasty videos, you will see guys sucking cock for Cam Akers. Okay? They will blow you for Cam Akers. They will do unthinkable things for Cam Akers in Dynasty leagues because Cam fucking Akers is an amazing talent. He had a terrible O-line, and he was absolutely bitch-slapping defenses in the NCAA. I believe Cam Akers will be a late-round draft pick that you hold on to if he ends up on a good spot, or if the starter guy ahead of him gets hurt, Cam Akers will be a steal in 2020. So after we selected Cameron Akers a bunch of picks are going to come off the board. So they actually have fixed some things here on Fantasy Pros that I actually like to talk about here. They've decided to fix Antonio Clown. So after Cam Akers was selected, actually, Antonio Brown, if you want to come and talk, come chat with me on my channel. Me and Ira would love to talk to you. Come on, DM me on Twitter. I'll come and talk to you. So Hunter Henry, Rashad Penny, Andy Isabella, Tevin Coleman, Golden Tate, A.B., Bashad Perryman, James Washington, Deshaun Jackson, Ryan Tannehill, Tyler Higbee, Carson Wentz, Matt Breida, Jared Cook, Sammy Watkins, Noah Fant, O.J. Howard, Justice Hill. Antonio Brown goes in the 11th round. He was going like the top 8 rounds. In the other drafts I was doing, I was not seeing any reason why you would want to do that. He may not even play in 2020, but who knows? The hype may start coming once the combine starts in a couple of days. Maybe, yeah, I think the combine, I'm not sure exactly what day the combine starts, but once that starts in AB, there's going to be teams looking for AB. Maybe AB signs somewhere, and then you're seeing some amazing shit where AB is flying up the draft board. I still don't even trust AB. I know he's a talented guy, but I still do not trust him. So late in the draft, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs and 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers. So we're going to go ahead and attack another running back here late in the draft. And like I said, guys, there are going to be tight ends late in the draft that I still like. Guys like Gesicki, Goddard, I still really like David Njoku late in the draft. So we're going to go ahead and attack the running backs here that are still available. Now, to me, Darrell Henderson is a guy that I'm not going to go without drafting in a lot of drafts. Darrell Henderson has the opportunity, if Todd Gurley goes down, to be the head honcho back on the team. Now, I know a lot during last season, it was Malcolm Brown, but Darrell Henderson was drafted last season, I believe, in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. Correct me if I am wrong, but Darrell Henderson is a speed demon. He is a great talent in the NFL, and he is a guy that if Todd Gurley goes down, I think could be a beast. And Todd Gurley has that fucked up knee. He's got that knee arthritis like he's your fucking grandfather. So Darrell Henderson may have potential to be a beast in 2020, and he's a guy that I love to select here late in drafts as a golden ticket to win my fantasy football Super Bowl. So after we selected Darrell Henderson, TJ Hawkinson comes off the board, followed by Cam Newton, Tony Pollard, and Jalen Samuel. So now we're going to complete our roster with a wide receiver because there's a wide receiver that I like here, and then we're going to draft defense and kicker. And this guy's name is N'Keal Harry. I know in the comments you might be saying, oh, Nick, N'Keal Harry didn't do shit in 2019. Everyone talked about him as being one of the best wide receivers, the best wide receiver in the draft class, and he was fucking terrible. He didn't do anything. But that's because he was hurt at the beginning of the season. Then Tom Brady was like throwing it to everyone, and then he wasn't catching the ball. He only completed 50% of his pass, or he only caught 50% of his passes in 7 games, 2 touchdowns. He was just about okay. But this season, I think TB12 comes back, and N'Keal Harry is a much better asset for your fantasy football team. I like him very late in the draft here. Last season, he was drafted much, much higher. So now we are going to be talking about some defenses and some kickers after I read off the rest of the draft board. If you guys have enjoyed thus far, I know this video is 30 minutes long. Make sure to comment down below. Adrian Peterson is the GOAT. After we drafted N'Keal Harry, Adrian Peterson came off the board, followed by Lamar Miller, Dallas Goedert, Kirk Cousins, Naheem Hines, Daniel Jones, Chase Edmonds, A.J. Dillon, rookie, LaShawn McCoy, a bunch of defenses, and a kicker. So first we're going to draft a kicker. We're going to get Justin the fucker Tucker off the board, and then a bunch of kickers and defense. And Cole Beasley went. Cole Beasley is a late round draft guy that I like, but besides that, I'm going to tell you how to draft the defense. So right now, we're in February. It's February 25th as I'm recording this video. It's February 26th as you're watching it. It's 9:43 at night right now. So you're going to go on Google. Once the schedule comes out, once you're drafting in August, you're going to type in NFL schedule week 1. You find a defense playing a shit tier offense, an offense that you think is going to get a lot of turnovers. You draft that team. It's that simple. I'm going to be making videos about it, so it'll be very easy for you to remember which defenses you want to pick. You pick them, and it's finito. You don't need to worry about drafting a defense early to try to take over the league. I know last year guys were like, oh, the Chicago Bears are going to be worth like a 10th round pick. They're such an amazing defense. You know what they did? They took a shit on your chest, smeared it all over your lips, and made you fucking want to puke. They were terrible. So don't make that mistake again and draft whoever the top defense is rated this year. We're going to go with the New Orleans Saints late here. But like I said, we're going to be drafting a defense that's playing a shitty offense. So a bunch of kickers and defenses are going to go off the board here. And we got a B+ from Fantasy Pros. Fuck the B+. Who cares? We got an A+ in my mind. Now, our final roster here to recap real quick. We got quarterback Drew Brees. Our 2 starting running backs are Ezekiel Elliott and Kenyon Drake. Our starting wide receivers are Kenny Galladay and A.J. Brown. Our tight end is Evan Ingram. Our flex is Marlon Mac. Kicker and defense don't really matter. Our bench is comprised of Tyler, Boyd, David Montgomery, Preston Williams, Cameron Akers, Darrell Henderson, and N'Keal Harris. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Check out the video above me. Click the subscribe button. That's right here. Click one of the videos that's over here or up here. I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to tell someone around you that you love them. Make sure you have a blessed rest of your day, and make sure you don't draft rookie wide receivers too early in 2020. Goodbye.